Assalamualaikum. Hi again. Hola. Salam. Namaste. Ni hao. Annyeonghaseyo. Konnichiwa. Bonjour. Sawadee-krap. My name is teacher NORLITA BINTI from SMK Ppd Melaka. So before we start with our today's session, I'd like to thank all the SIC class officers of English Language Department from the District Education Department of Melaka Tengah for this wonderful English Set to Ace program and giving me the opportunity to share with all of you regarding SPM CAFR English Paper 2 article writing. So for today's agenda, we are going to look at Paper 2 writing with the code of English 1119/2 Part 3 articles. We are going to discuss on the latest SPM format, sample question, what's article writing, some guidelines, what are the do's and the don'ts, suggested format, and some exercises in the activity time slot. So here is the marking scheme of paper 2 writing. The total marks for this paper is 60. The time allocated for this paper is 90 minutes, and this paper is also divided into 3 parts. The first 2 parts have been presented by 2 of my colleagues in the previous sessions. So here, I like to suggest that you spend around 30 minutes to answer part 3 essay. Here is the sample question for article writing in part 3. So in this question, you are given with a situation, scene, and then you need to write based on the notes given in bullets, like what you would like to buy, reasons for your choice, and where do you usually buy these things. Okay, we write articles to give news or information or suggestions to readers. So usually articles are published in magazines, newsletters, or newspapers. So the main objective of writing an article is to make some changes to the world by presenting facts, stats, or views. So here are some guidelines for you to follow for article writing. First, start your article with a title. Make sure it's interesting. Read and understand the given points or notes in bullets. Then organize the points in paragraphs. Start your article with an impressive opening paragraph or line. Your article must have a smooth flow from one paragraph to the next. And lastly, use simple and formal language. There are also do's and don'ts in article writing. Here are the do's. You must have a title. Write the topic of your article in the introduction paragraph. You must have 2 to 3 paragraphs for the body of the article. Point should be organized. End your article with an impressive conclusion to sum up the points and reiterate the topic of the article. Always remember not to write all the points in one paragraph. Do not jumble up the points till they do not make sense. Please follow the suggested plan, which we are going to discuss later. Do not just end your article without summing up the points in your last paragraph. To write a perfect article, one should have in-depth knowledge about the topic to deliver 100% information regarding the product, services, brands, etc., etc. Well, you need to do some research and also planning before start writing an article, right? So to make your article stood out of the crowd and gain readers' attention, some basic format for article writing is necessary. So the format consists of the heading or the title, byline or your name, body of the article, which is the 3 to 4 paragraphs, and lastly the conclusion, which is the ending paragraph of the article with the opinion, recommendation, anticipation, or an appeal. Now, let's go through all the parts. First, the heading or title. It should be catchy and also need to relate to the topic. It has to be related to the topic. The length of the heading shouldn't be more than 6 words. You have to think creatively on how to impress readers and increase their anxiety to continue their read in your article. Second is byline. It means the name of the person writing the article. Write your name in full, for instance, like by NORLITA BINTI. Next is the body of the paragraph. Is the main part of article writing which carries more weightage of marks. Usually consists of 3 to 4 paragraphs. Lastly is the conclusion or closure. The final paragraph of an article should be liked, recommendation, anticipation, views, appeals, etc., etc., where readers must feel happy with your article. So here is the plan of article writing that you can follow, starting from the title or heading, and then followed by writer's name or your name, the introduction paragraph, the body, and also the conclusion or the closure. Okay, once again, here's the plan on what you should do before writing the article. First, the title in paragraph 1, get your reader's attention and state your preference. In paragraph 2 to 4, explain your reasons using a new topic for each paragraph. In paragraph 5, restate your preference in a new or amusing way. Okay, students, it's the activity time. Okay, let's try and learn. Okay, first, how to get your reader's attention to read your articles. Okay, articles can entertain as well as inform readers. So the tone of voice used can be less formal in a direct way. So you can use the suggested words as I listed in the language bank later, for instance, like we and us, to make the readers feel included in what you are writing about. So in addition, you can also put some ideas in the form of questions like how would you feel if, do you, could you, and others. Now, let's try to answer the first exercise on opening paragraphs. Make sure you have a pen or pencil and a piece of paper for you to jot down your answers. The instruction is, read these 2 alternative opening paragraphs and tick the one you think would make most readers continue reading the article. Okay, let's together read paragraph A. Many people spend too much money on new technology these days. They often change their mobile phones every year, for example, as new models are produced. Okay, paragraph B. How often do you buy a new mobile phone? We all want to have the latest technology, but are we spending too much money on it? Okay, I'm going to give you some time to choose your answer. So what's your answer, dear students? Okay, the answer for exercise 1 is B. So good job. So why did you choose paragraph B as your answer rather than paragraph A? Yes, you are absolutely right. It's because of the form of question used in the paragraph. How often do you buy a mobile phone? Compared to paragraph A, which is too ordinary and monotonous. Okay, here's the list of question forms and words, as I promised, that you can use to ask and include readers in your articles. How often do you? How much do you? Do you? Could you? Would you? Can you imagine? Have you? Do you ever? How will you feel if? Okay, how to include the reader? You, your, we, our, and us. Okay, now let's move on to exercise 2, underlining important points. The instruction is, read the following writing tasks and underline the 3 points that must be included in the article. Then answer the questions below. Okay, question 1. Articles wanted on 21st century lifestyles. What is the one place where modern teenagers go shopping the most? Sports shops, clothes shops, electronic shops. Tell us what kind of shop, what they want to buy, and why it is important to them. So the best article will be published in next month's magazine. Write your article in 140 to 190 words. Okay, question 1. Who will be reading the article? Question 2. Could you use we and us in the article to talk to this type of reader? Question 3. The task asks you to describe why the shop is important to you or young people generally. So I'll give you some time to think of the answers. Okay, now let's compare our answers. The 3 underlined points that must be included in the article are: first, what kind of shop; second, what they want to buy; and third, why it is important to them. So you must include and elaborate all these 3 points in separate paragraphs in your article. For question 1, the answer is teenagers all over the world. So who will be reading the article? Teenagers. Okay, question 2. Could you use we and us in the article to talk to this type of reader? Of course, it's a yes. Okay, for question 3, the task asks you to describe why the shop is important to young people generally. Okay, good. Okay, in this next exercise, we are going to make comparisons. Making comparisons can be a powerful way of explaining what you mean. So read this opinion and then write 2 different explanations making comparisons. Okay, the opinion is a lot of teenagers nowadays are interested in reading books for pleasure. The first one is the old days now, and the second one at school, free time. So I'm going to give you some time to prepare for your answers. Okay, now let's look at the suggested answers. In the first comparison of the old days and now, you can write something like this. In the old days, there was less for young people to do. So reading was fun, but now the internet means they can read all sort of things. Therefore, we don't need books so much anymore. Okay, for at school and free time, when teenagers are at school, they have to read a lot of books. So when they have free time, they want to do something else to relax. So this is basically how you should compare the 2 opinions by stating examples in your explanations. Okay, in this part, we want to write about our preferences. When you have to think of reasons why you prefer one thing to another, make quick notes in 2 ways. Okay, for example, if you want to explain why you prefer shopping for clothes on foot rather than shopping online, note down what you like about shopping on foot and what you don't like about shopping online. So this will help you clearly identify your reasons. In exercise 4, read these notes. A student has made for clothes shopping on foot and against shopping online. So then answer the questions below. On foot, A, I like trying clothes on before buying. B, it's more sociable, a day out with friends. For online, C, I have to wait for things to be delivered. D, I can't or feel clothes in photos. Okay, question number 1. Which 2 notes are similar and could actually be put together? Okay, question 2. The writer doesn't like waiting for online shopping to be delivered. How can you turn this negative reason about online shopping into a positive reason for shopping on foot? Why is shopping on foot better? Okay, question 3. What are the writer's 3 positive reasons for preferring shopping on foot? Okay, now try to answer the questions. Okay, now let's look at the suggested answers. For question 1 is I like trying clothes on before buying. Sorry, it's A. I like trying clothes on before buying. Okay, and D, I can't touch or feel clothes in photos. So the answer is A and D. Okay, for question 2, you can take your shopping home with you the same day and wear the clothes immediately. That is for question 2. Okay, for question 3, You can try wear them immediately and it's sociable. Okay, so how's your answer? Okay, now let's move on to exercise 5, which is the paragraph topics. Let's read the article entitled Talking Face to Face Together. Okay. Will you tell your friend a secret on Facebook or wait until you meet them? Personally, I prefer seeing my friend's face and hearing their voice when we talk. The most important thing about being together is that the conversation is spontaneous. If you send someone a text, you are forced to sit on your own waiting for them to think of and write their reply. This is not a proper, lively conversation for me. Apart from that, what about those feelings that you can't communicate with words? If one of my friends was unhappy, for example, I would want to be there to give them a hug. You can't do that on a screen. Spoken conversations also give you a better chance of keeping your personal life private. Texting is fine for making arrangements or gossiping. But if you write down personal thoughts and feelings, they could easily be read by other people. So if you really want to talk to me, come on over. Let's have a proper chat face to face. Okay, the instruction for exercise 5 is read this article. Does it mention any of the ideas you discussed in class? Now answer the questions below. Question 1. Underline the paragraph topics in paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. Number 2. Does the writer compare face-to-face conversations with other forms of communication? Question 3. Underline 3 conditional sentences in the article. In which paragraph does the sentence describe what is likely to happen, what always happens, an imaginary situation? Okay, let's have some time to think of the answers. Okay, are your answers similar to the ones displayed here? The 3 paragraph topics are conversation is spontaneous in paragraph 2, feelings that you can't communicate with words in paragraph 3, and lastly, keeping your personal life private in paragraph 4. Okay, so those are the paragraph topics. Okay, here are the answers for questions 2 and 3. Okay, for question 2, does the writer compare face-to-face conversations with other forms of communication? Yes. Okay, for question 3, underline 3 conditional sentences in the article. In which paragraph does the sentence describe what is likely to happen? Is in paragraph 4. What always happens? In paragraph 2. An imaginary situation in paragraph 3. So good job for those who have answered correctly. Okay, last but not the least is exercise 6 conditionals. Using conditionals is a very useful way of explaining your reasons in article writing. Write conditional sentence to explain the following statements about places where people eat. Okay, that's the question. Okay, sentence 1. Is eating out can be disappointing. Okay, sentence 2. Eating at home can be boring. Sentence 3. Eating in a posh restaurant is less relaxing than eating at home. So now let's check out the suggested answers together. Okay, eating out can be disappointing. Conditional writing a sentence that you can write is, if the service is slow, it can spoil your meal. Okay, that is how you show that you are disappointed when you are eating out. Okay, for sentence 2, eating at home can be boring. If you go to a restaurant, you have a choice what to eat. That's very true, right? Okay, for sentence 3, eating in a posh restaurant, in a luxury restaurant, is less relaxing than eating at home. Okay, what can you write? If you need to wear smart clothes, you might not feel comfortable. It's very true also. Okay. Okay, now before we end this session, I'd like you to scan this QR code, or you may click the link given in the description box to answer questions about today's topic, and then you may get yourself an e-certificate for your participation. Okay, now let's recap on today's class. Always remember to practice all these tips in writing your articles. Recap 1. Start your article with the title. As it is published for readers to read, it should be interesting. Okay, recap 2. You can add your own points. Start your article with an impressive opening line. Remember to get your readers' attention. Okay, recap 3. Read and understand the given points. Organize the points in paragraph. Do not mix all the points or jumble up points in one paragraph. Separate them. Okay. Recap number 4. Your article must have a smooth flow from one paragraph to the next. Remember all these sequence connectors, cohesive devices that you may apply in your article writing. And then use simple and formal language. And at the same time, don't forget to ask your readers or to include your readers in your essays. Okay, now, don't forget about our next meeting, our next appointment, also on the same day and time, but with a different dedicated and cheerful presenter, an English teacher from Methodist Girl High School, which is Madam Sarah Shafika Binti Sha'ari. She's going to discuss on paper 2 writing, report writing, sorry. Okay, so here's my references. Okay, and last but not least, so once again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope I have shared something valuable for all of you to be used in your SPM examination next year. All the best to all of you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye.